From Houston, you're watching The American on ESPN. And walking down South Main today are the Connecticut Huskies, fresh off a big road win over Boston College. The Huskies can wrap up a bowl berth with a win today against Rice, coming off the bye and ready to go in this non-conference matchup. And here at Rice Stadium, we're glad to have you with us. Ted Emmerich, along with the All-American from UCLA, Charles Arbuckle, Smacker Miles, coming up in just a moment. Buck, these are two teams that are coming in with very different vibes. UConn on a 4-game win streak. Rice has lost 3 in a row. UConn features one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country in Joe Fignano. He hasn't thrown an interception yet this year.
He protects the ball. He does a really good job. And I think the real key for Joe is that he understands how to get the ball down the field. In this offense, they just need him to do big things. And he seems to just get better and better every week. And he doesn't. They don't focus on the interceptions, but they don't come because he knows how to play well.
And here we are. By the way, we didn't plan this. A couple of burgundy suits. You've never looked better, Buck, by the way. Ted and Buck with you. Smacker coming up in just a moment. Meanwhile, for Rice, coming off the bye again, they've lost 3 in a row, got blown out by UTSA a couple of weeks ago. They're getting healthier, and they're glad to have Quentin Jackson to pair with Dalen Alexander at running back.
They really need these two guys to play well in this offense. They need them in the perimeter run game. They just need them to do everything. There's so many things that they have to do as running back. Very complicated. The quarterback position is really complicated, but these two weapons are really key to helping this offense get going. And when they play well, this offense plays well.
And Jackson is not the only key player back for Rice. Smacker.
Hey guys, Coach Abel was encouraged by his team's health coming off of the bye. They have quarterback Chase Jenkins back at 100%, but they'd like to take some pressure off of him by controlling the line of scrimmage and running the ball early. Beyond that, UConn is a multiple front defense. They're blitz heavy, so he said the Owls need to be more dynamic outside the tackle box, meaning they need their downfield pass game and perimeter run game to be sharp to have an effective day offensively.
Well, hopefully Smacker doesn't need an umbrella today. Rain was in the forecast. It seems like those storms passed through earlier this morning. We should be good here this afternoon. It's finally starting to cool off here in Houston.
Yeah, there was
UConn
coming down last night, right? I mean, storming.
Thankfully, we don't have to deal with that right now. UConn won the toss, they defer, and so Rice will have the football from the 25 to start. But they had to play 4 different quarterbacks against UTSA because of injuries, but they're so glad that Chase Jenkins is ready to go.
He is the guy that they really want to have in that offense. Still learning to play. They had that long stretch also, Ted, of games. So they were looking to this as the light at the end of the tunnel. They had a bye week. They come back. They've got health. They're hoping that they'll play much better today.
So it is Jenkins and Jackson in the backfield for Rice. A sight for sore eyes after the injury issues they have dealt with. The pop pass to Drayton Dickman, the fastest Owl on the team, and Dickman picks up about 6 yards on first down.
Yeah, so when you look at the impact players here, you have to have Parnham. Brian Parnham has to play well. He's well-traveled, but a really good player. And then Quentin Jackson, we talked about him in the open. He's a guy that needs to really step up for this offense.
Parham was the National Defensive Player of the Week after his 2-sack game against BC. Here's Jackson with his first carry. And he twists down to the 34, just a yard short of the first.
The key to this is getting them in the backfield. You don't want Quentin Jackson to get things going. There's a lot of eye candy they give you, but the one key thing is whoever has the ball, you need to make sure you secure that tackle. They're ahead of the chains, though, Ted, and that's what they talked a lot about, staying ahead of the chains. They hadn't played well on first and second in the last few weeks, and they really wanted to get back to that.
As you see the numbers on third down, it hasn't been great this year for Rice, but they certainly prefer third and short, and they convert with Jackson out ahead of the 40-yard line.
He talked about being a smaller in stature guy, so people sometimes take him for granted. But it was nice talking to him. You could tell that quiet confidence he had in his ability and what he does for this Rice offense.
Yeah, Jackson told us yesterday he feels pretty close to 100%. He was all kinds of banged up a couple of weeks ago against UTSA and had just 4 carries in that blowout. Jackson again with an alley, and it's closed off by Connecticut. Lee Millette III, the first-year starter at one of the safety spots, making the tackle after a gain of 2.
Really key guy for them in this 3-3-5 defense. You know, some people call it the nickel, some call it the safety, but whatever you call it, there's a guy that can come down the alley and make a play.
So 2nd and 8 for Rice. And now the pitch to Aaron Turner, the former Connecticut Husky. And Turner crosses the 45. But the spread option that Scott Abel has put in, you see all the options that he has to work with.
Option 1, a handoff. And then what you want to do is you want to be able to have a big play. And usually that's that belly, that fullback dive. And then you also have the ability to pitch. You fake the dive, and then you come outside. So you're kind of fooling that defense to keep them in. And then this last one is the keep. The keep is where you have a blocker in front of you and gives you a good chance to run the ball.
And a big play in the backfield, taken down. Dalen Alexander had no chance. Trent Jones II, the former Iowa State Cyclone, knocking him down, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, that was a really nice play, Ted, when you have a guy that can just find a way and not get blocked. Trent Jones, you know, transfer from Iowa State, really nice job there of coming in and just getting that nice tackle. Had 2 tackles last week, and he's really starting to come on now, play better for this defense.
Alex Paqueta is the punter for Rice. And over the head of Jackson Harper and into the end zone, a 56-yard punt. But a touchback, and Connecticut and Joe Fignano have the ball when we come back.
We don't hear each other.
Well, no quarterback in the nation has thrown for more yards and thrown more passes this season without an interception than Joe Fignano.
Fignano has been special, man. And when you watch him on tape from the early part of the year till now, it just seems like he gets better every week. Almost every single rep and series, he is just getting better and finding ways to make plays.
Now in his 7th year of college football, spent 4 years at Maine in the FCS, now 3 years at Connecticut. And he's taking to the air on first down, and he's got his top target, Skyler Bell, with room to roam. Bell, pedal to the floor, touchdown, 80 yards.
We talked about explosive plays. That's an explosive play, and that's what this Rice defense has been giving up, and that is what this UConn offense wants to get to. You're going to see the play fake there. You bring down everybody. It's a slant. If you don't have your guy, which the outside corner doesn't have, Skyler Bell is going to make you pay, and he's been playing better and better and better. Focus on catching the ball, but not only catching the ball, taking it to the house.
The stop on defense and the quick strike on offense. What a combination with UConn right back on the road. And here is Chris Freeman, the 6th-year senior, for the extra point. Jim Mora, UConn's coach, told us this week, can we continue this streak? Can we keep it rolling? So far, so good for UConn here in Houston. Samus.
When you look at what Gordon Samus, the offensive coordinator, is able to do here, I love this design because you're going to have a rub. Look at the receiver running in front, and what it does is it loses the guy that's at the 30, can't find his man. He can't find a receiver in Skyler Bell. It's a natural rub route, and then Skyler Bell is able to get there. You have to come up and attack, but you don't know where the receiver is going to be. Skyler Bell comes out, and it's just such a good design by Gordon Samus and a great throw by Joe.
Here is Samaj Pierre, the true freshman, on the return for Rice, and he gets cracked just past the 15. You were so impressed with Gordon Samus and the way he sequences plays. He does it right out of the gate. First play, 80-yard touchdown.
It's crazy how they come up with things and they just play off of other things. But what I like about it is Fagnano is so good at just getting better. He's understanding everything that they're looking to do, and that's just one of those things in film study you see, you pick up, and you understand.
So Rice starts from its own 17. Fake it to Turner. Jenkins on the carry, and a good sign for Rice. It was a left ankle injury that Jenkins suffered 2 weeks ago in San Antonio. He left the locker room in a boot, but he practiced in full all week, and he's good to go.
Well, having the bye week was best for everybody, but for a guy like him, Chase Jenkins, he needed that because he takes a lot of shots during the course of games.
Picked up 9 yards on first down. Quarterback certainly has to be a run threat in this unique offense. The quick pass to Dickman. His second catch, and it's a first down for Rice to the 30-yard line.
Ted, I like what Coach Abel was talking about with his offense. He said, you know, look, we can throw the ball. We just don't have all the receivers and everything that we need at this point. But guys are learning, and you can see there, good first down. They're going to run the football. But if you don't pay attention to these receivers, they will make you pay. Dickman right there with a nice catch and getting the first down.
This play is blown up by Brian Parham. Parham was waiting for Quentin Jackson. Loss of 2.
Yeah, they said they just love how Parham is playing. Look at this, just gonna come in and just, he beats the block, and then he gets in there and makes a nice tackle. Now, the other thing is, David Stickle has been out for a while, so he's back now, the center, and that's what you need. You need your guys that are comfortable in this offense. But Parham said, blow it up.
So 2nd and 12, Jenkins under duress, and Jenkins does lunge for a yard on the play. Boy, UConn tied for 3rd in the country in sacks coming in, that close to another one.
And they get a lot of sacks, not only from the front, but their linebackers. But this time, it's Trent Jones who comes in to clean up. The first missed tackle there, and they also get their secondary guys involved. They get everybody involved in trying to get to the quarterback. It's an equal opportunity defense.
This is when UConn can really pull the spring back and let it go on defense. 3rd and long. Jenkins into the flat. And it is caught. Broken tackle. Tyson Thompson needed to maneuver about 5 more yards. It's 4th down.
We said it earlier, this offense isn't really designed for 3rd and longs, and that's what happened to them against UTSA, and they're really trying to get out of that, because if they can keep the ball, it keeps that vaunted offense away from coming on the field for UConn.
Instead, Scott Abel has to send on Alex Paqueta for the 2nd time already. Harper calls for the fair catch, just inside the 20. A 47-yard punt by Paqueta. Well, Skylar Bell took it 80 yards for a touchdown on the first play for UConn from scrimmage. After that defensive stop to open up the game, it's a simple slam.
He does so many different things in there in this offense, and he just makes things happen. And I think they really like also, too, you see that catching the ball with his hands, doing a much better job of that, but then the yards after catch, he shows you that ability, and that's why they think he has a lot more potential to get out of his body.
I mean, quite simply, one of the best receivers in the nation this year. Here's Cam Edwards on the sweep and cannot turn the corner. Drop for a loss, back to the 16.
Yeah, and I think what they like about him, Ted, is that he's just getting better and better. You know, sometimes when guys are really good, they're Blitnikoff watch list, they're all of those things, but they don't keep getting their talent and pushing it more, and that's what you hear about them.
Fake it to Edwards this time. And back to Bell. Fignano hooks up with him. And Skylar Bell out of bounds, close to the marker. A gain of 11. Buck, let's check out your impact players when UConn has the ball.
Yeah, Skylar Bell, you got to say, is the guy that has to make plays. He's already shown up. Andre Awe is also another guy that is really, really critical for Rice, a linebacker who flies all over the field. He was a walk-on cornerback, became a safety and a linebacker. He can do it all, and he's really, really smart as a player.
Just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better.
Stayed athletic, too. That's what they love.
3rd and a yard. Feed it to Edwards. He's stacked up.
Really good defense by Rice right there. You need a confidence booster. That's one right there. When you have a defense that's given up a lot of points and yards, Joe Chavez is one of those guys that they said had to play well from the Viper position. That sounds like a hitter, right? A Viper. Well, he gets in there and makes a play, and look what happens. You're forcing UConn to punt. Ted, sometimes football can be grimy and tough. That's what Rice has to figure out, how to turn this game into.
Connor Stutz lifts it. And the fair catch for Rice, and Tyson Thompson just inside the 30, a 45-yard punt. Well, Rice has it back. They've picked up a couple of first downs, but they've punted twice to start. Well, Scott Abel has won everywhere he's been, and at places that historically have not won, whether it's Division III, Washington and Lee in Virginia, or Davidson in the FCS. His latest challenge is Rice.
Yeah, he talked a lot about that yesterday, about the ability to, once you start doing it, people start looking for you as the fix-it guy.
This certainly is a program that needs repair. Rice has the ball back, and they've got Chase Jenkins on the ground, takes a big shot after the gain of 10. Tyrese Mills, the fifth-year senior from Philadelphia, bringing the lumber.
Yeah, Tyrese Mills comes up, but good blocking on the interior, and Chase Jenkins with a nice job of just finding that hole. You're going to get a big hit, but really good run and setting up a second and short.
Jenkins to throw down the seam. He's got his tight end, Micah Barnett, into UConn territory inside the 35. A gain of 29. That's Barnett's first catch of the season.
What did Coach say? We want to get the tight ends involved, and now they are. Because when you do all that running on the inside, it gets those linebackers' eyes. What did Matt Brock say? Eye transfer. They didn't transfer well there. And huge play by Micah Barnett.
You can see how this triple option attack out of the spread can stress a defense. On first down, back to the ground.
Ted, the biggest difference so far in this drive is that they're staying positive on first down. The tackles for loss kills a triple option team or any running team. But if they're getting positive yards here each time, that sets them up for really good success.
Like Abel told us yesterday, I want this offense to be the one that nobody wants to face. It's just gonna take some time.
Yeah, they have things in, but they still know that there's more that they can do and other wrinkles that they can add as these guys really get familiar with it.
And they hand it to Landon Ransom Goals, the receiver who is returning from injury. His first carry of the season, and a nice gain to bring up third and short.
Great ball skills by Chase Jenkins. The real key with option football, I don't care what's happening in front, it's when you can hold that ball to the last second because it makes those linebackers and ends pause before they can go and decide what they need to do.
Third and a yard. UConn, one of the best third down defenses in the nation, ranking 14th in the country. Now trouble with the snap. It's picked up though by Jackson, and he's wrestled down in the backfield. A fortunate bounce for Rice. Jackson does recover it, but it brings up fourth down.
Jenkins never got the ball clean, and Jackson right in position to make a play. Ball hits him in the hands, and he doesn't field it cleanly, but Jackson was Johnny on the spot. Former quarterback himself, so look at him. He knows, I got to go get the ball, and finds it and just tries to get whatever he could out of it.
Rice aggressive here, going for it, fourth down in this part of the field. They need two. It's Jackson with the first down inside the 20-yard line.
From a confidence standpoint, Ted, this is what this offense needs, and it's your best defense against that other offense on the other side. And they're starting to go with tempo, which can tire these defensive linemen out.
Scott Abel said that he would try to sprinkle that in some more today, and it's more Quentin Jackson on first down.
Down to the 16.
Quentin Jackson is just something to behold. I mean, usually you have those fullbacks on the interior running. He doesn't mind getting in there, and he'll mix it up. Business management major, but a tough guy on the football field. Not real boisterous, but when he talks, it's like E.F. Hutton. Everybody around here listens.
And at 5'7", he says he hears a lot of trash talk. He says, I know when I have to respond. Eighth play of the drive. Jenkins on the keeper. And Jenkins down in the pile with a gain of 2 to bring up third down and 5.
What this does is it keeps the ball away from your offense, and it gives you a chance to allow your defense to get some rest because they've had a lot of injuries on their defense as well. But it puts UConn in a position where every time they come out, they feel like they have to have a big play or have an explosive. And it limits you because they're keeping this ball and controlling the clock.
Now can they convert on third and 5? They have strung together a nice drive to this point, and Rice has to call a timeout.
Scott Abel had a great line. Losing games is not easy. You hear usually losing games is hard, but and it's not easy because he's saying all the things that it does to you and having a losing streak like that. But what I like is it seems like his captains talked about those captains like Quentin Jackson saying, we have to get things done. It's on us now.
Rice started 3-1 including a victory in the conference opener against Charlotte. It was their first 3-1 start since 2001. That before the 3-game losing streak entering today. And now out of the timeout, 3rd and 5 for the Owls. The triple option. The flip to Turner, who slipped. It rained earlier today. Shouldn't be a problem on the turf here at Rice Stadium. But Aaron Turner, facing one of his former schools in UConn, lost his footing.
Antonio Harris Jr., number 58, is going to do a really nice job of keeping the edge. Look at him, keep him contained, so he forces everything back into his buddies. That's what you're supposed to do against option football. Very good job of reading his keys there.
Enoch Goda from 38 yards officially knocks it through. And Rice is on the board. So Rice does pay off that nice drive with points. Jim Moore is in year 4 leading Connecticut. Called it the Husky Revolution when he took over a program that really was a doormat, and he's turned it into something that honestly looks like it belongs in a power conference.
It really does. And Scott Abel just couldn't have enough praise for Jim Moore and what he's been able to do. And knowing Jim, playing for his father, understanding what he's been able to do in his coaching career. This has been one of those where he said there were some times where it was really, really tough. Never gave up, but I just knew that we could get this done. And to see this happening for him now, they have to be happy in Storrs, Connecticut.
And Mora back here at Rice Stadium, awfully familiar with it. His first win as a college head coach came here when he was with UCLA back in 2012. As a former Bruin, you were certainly dialed into that game.
Brett Hundley, coming out party was there for sure.
So UConn will have it from the 25 after the touchback. The 80-yard touchdown pass from Fignano to Bell to start. A punt on their second possession. You know, Buck, you asked Gordon Sam as UConn's offensive coordinator, who's the biggest surprise for you this year? And Sam has said, you're not going to believe this, it's actually Joe Fignano. Yeah. He just doesn't get bored. He has always improved every single week.
It's incredible to hear your coach talk about you like that, but also to understand what goes into it every single week with a guy like Fignano.
Off the play fake. It's Raymelo Murphy, the transfer from Arizona, right to the sticks and a first down.
This Rice team is going to come with pressure, and every time they do, they have to realize that Fignano is going to find a way to exploit that. And I think that's the one thing that they still have to do. They have to put pressure on him to force him into some bad decisions.
The toss to Edwards. And Edwards dashes to the 40-yard line. What could very well be the final play of the quarter.
Cam Edwards has been a guy that's 6.1 yard per carry average this year. It's been very, very effective for him. Victor Rosa as well.
And it looks like UConn will take this to the second quarter. Well, it was a scorching start for Connecticut. That 80-yard strike from Fignano to Skylar Bell, and UConn has a 7-3 lead here in Houston. Here in Houston, UConn chasing bowl eligibility. Ted Emmerich, Charles Arbuckle, our entire crew. Moments ago, Smacker caught up with UConn coach Jim Mora.
Coach, what have you seen from Rice schematically that you guys can adjust to?
That we what now?
That you guys can adjust to.
I mean, they're just doing what they do offensively, which is, their option game. Defensively, they're doing what we thought they'd do. I mean, they're just playing hard. We're playing hard. It's going to be a good game.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Jim Mora's team has been in a few of those this year. They're a couple of plays away from being 7-0, 2 overtime losses to Syracuse and Delaware.
Yeah, they talked a lot about that. Like, they felt like they're getting better, but not quite where they need to be. But there were some things that they look back and say, man, if we had a play here or play there, it could be a whole lot different.
I mean, it's been a special year for Connecticut. Just imagine what it could be if those results went the other way. To start the second quarter, the swing pass to Victor Rosa. Rosa playing a bigger role after Mel Brown went down with a broken collarbone in week 3. It'll be 3rd and 2.
And that's what he does well, catching the ball out of the backfield. The other thing is, with all of the openings now, that makes a guy like Jim Mora more attractive. I'm not taking anything away from UConn. I want him, if he wants to stay there forever, let him. But with the way things are now in the P4 conferences, especially as they have openings, and he's had experience there and in the NFL, they're going to have to do what they need to do to keep him at UConn.
Huskies need 2 on 3rd down. And Fignano connects with Murphy for the first.
See, it's those kind of things there. You see the big home run plays, but it's just the ones that move the sticks. Guy turns his numbers right back to Fignano. He pops it right into him, keeps the chains alive. And this is what Rice has to do now. You see tempo coming from UConn.
Fake the toss, Fignano a laser, and it's too low, incomplete. Intended for Juice Vereen, the tight end, who had a career day against Boston College last week. The 2 touchdowns, the first of his career.
Kid out of Havelock, North Carolina State transfer, ball a little too low. The other thing what tempo does is it doesn't allow you to come with those fire blitz and zones, zone blitzes that you want to do if you're Rice.
And Rice is still undermanned on defense. Even if they've gotten a few pieces back from injury, Rosa hit right at the line by Blake Banish, the enormous nose tackle. Let's pick up a couple there. Kyrie Crump, the corner, suspended after an altercation with officials 2 weeks ago against UTSA. He's away from the program right now, and Rice might not get back Michael Daly, their best pass rusher, because of an injury.
But that allows guys like Banish, who now is starting to really turn the corner. Powerlifting champion, really strong. He showed you there. Violent hands and gets to the guy.
So 3rd and 8. Rice, one of the worst 3rd down defenses in the nation. In fact, tied for 3rd worst in FBS. Here comes the blitz. Fignano escapes. And Fignano chased to the boundary by Ty Morris. 4th down.
Good job, Ted, by the secondary of holding, but also look at them coming with pressure like they said they would to get Fignano off a schedule and off a platform. Nice job by this Rice defense. John Kay said, look, we can do this. We just got to get our guys to believe, and they got healthy guys coming back. That was a really nice job by this Rice defense there.
And we talked with Ty Morris, who made that play on Fignano yesterday. He said, we are itching to show that physicality really is a pillar of our defense. Morris showed that right there on the edge. And Rice will have the ball back after the 50-yard punt. Down 7-3 to UConn at home. After another stop, Rice has it back, down 7-3 on their last drive. The Owls put together a nice-looking drive that resulted in a field goal.
Yeah, they were able to keep the ball going, stayed ahead of the chains, made some nice throws. I mean, it was a nice combination of the full package of this offense. Generally, when you have a bye week, that first week you work on fundamentals, you get everybody healthy. The next week you come back and you self-scout and you make sure you're ready for the next week. That was a really nice drive by this offense. Let's see if they can put another one together.
Jenkins all alone in the gun here. Another unique look from the spread option. He throws it out to Quentin Jackson. And Jackson gets smashed after a gain of about 3.
Both of these are physical football teams, but it was interesting to hear Scott Abel talk about his genesis of this offense. Really, the Nebraska offenses when the eye-bone, and then he started looking at some rich rye. I mean, he had a lot of cooking, sauces in that gumbo. That he was coming up with some great things of how he got this offense really rolling and understood what it needed to be.
How appropriate down here in Houston as well. Jenkins carries it across the 25. I mean, yeah, it really is a Frankenstein offense. He has layered onto it at every stop of his career, starting at the high school level in Virginia and now in the FBS with Rice.
High school guys we don't call them geniuses, but you might as well, because they have to do so much with so little. And once they learn the tendencies when they get to this level, it just takes them another step.
3rd down and 3. Jackson squirts through the hole to the second level. Quentin Jackson had a school record kick return touchdown against UConn last year. He goes the distance this year. It's a touchdown, 73 yards.
I can't say enough about Quentin Jackson and his ability and how hard and tough he runs. But it's just that fight, and that's what gets this team charged up. Okay, look on the inside. He's running here. You think he's stopped, right? He breaks through those tackles and then has another guy to beat and says, okay, you're going to come and catch me, but I don't think so because I'm fast enough to pull away from you as well, Pringle. I'm in the house. Great job. Great hustle by Lee Mollett and Devin Pringle, but excellent opportunity to score by Quentin Jackson.
And the turf angel to finish it off. Rice has its first lead here today.
Yeah. You have a guy that can run the ball, this is what you want. Run through tackles. Keep on running. Where you going, young man? Take it down I-10. Why don't you just keep going to Beaumont, Texas? Because the way you're running that rock is the way what Rice needs.
I think UConn is pretty tired of Quentin Jackson at this point. A 100-yard kick return for a touchdown in the game last year. How about a 73-yard touchdown run this year?
Talked about setting up his blockers, right? Really working and staying on course. But when he finds that hole, Ted, he hits it. He talked to us about that, saying, I have to also help my linemen by setting things up. We talk a lot about that, and that's the patience. When you hear folks talk about a patient runner, they have to press the hole, and then when it's time to get to the little spot, he's so small he can creep through there and boom, take it to the house. Yeah, this is a disparity. At Rice, we expect a lot of rush yards, but that's something that UConn also needs to look at to control this clock and take the ball away from this Rice offense.
And listen, UConn's offense starts with the right arm of Joe Fignano, but yes, they would love a little more balance. Rice is all about the ground game, certainly, and Quentin Jackson with the longest run of his career, as it turns out, that 73-yarder, told us yesterday he felt so refreshed coming out of the bye. He went back home to Fort Worth, about 4 hours up the road, played with his 2-year-old nephew. I think he's got a lot to share with his nephew after today.
I said, what'd you do? He said, I got a lot of rest.
Fignano on the move. And over the head of Rosa, incomplete.
Again, behind the chains. This is what the UConn offense is not really accustomed to doing. They're playing in the last few weeks when they've been winning in their 4-game win streak of staying ahead of the chains and really moving. 170.6 yards per game rushing, only 5 today.
Oh, we asked Jim Mora, what's the next step for this team? It's about staying consistent. Yeah, okay, you beat a power conference team on the road last week. Keep it up. Don't falter after a big win. Facing a deficit now, Fignano underneath, and the pass is caught. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
Ted, you bring up a really good point, because if you watch that tape of UTSA, as a human, you would say, oh, we got this game, right? This is a totally different Rice team with 3 offensive linemen back, defensive guys back. You can see the energy level, and they're really playing a different ball game than what I watched on tape.
Third and 8. And Fignano's pass is tipped at the line.
So what you're taught to do as a defensive lineman is you rush, and if you can't get there, you put that hand up and knock the ball down. That's what you have to do. Watch here. You look at the quarterback's eyes. You can't get to him. You raise that hand, and you make sure you get a block.
And it was Ty Morris, the linebacker we talked with yesterday. And how about the energy and the celebration after? He made a point to tell us that they brought more energy in practice in 3rd down situations this week. They're able to show that in a game here today. Tyson Thompson on the return to the 25. So Rice up 10-7, and the Owls have the ball back. Rice, one of the top 20 teams in the country in terms of rushing, 17th to be exact, and they've already piled up 120 yards, 73 of them coming on Quentin Jackson's touchdown run on their last series. Here's Chase Jenkins. And stood up after a gain of a couple.
Well, and the other thing is it allows Chase Jenkins to not take those shots, right? The perimeter run game, but that was an interior run. But any kind of time you can have Jackson or Alexander have those huge runs, it takes the onus off of Chase Jenkins, especially coming back from an injury.
That's what Scott Abel said yesterday, Buck. We need to be able to lean on our backs more, especially with Jenkins coming back from the ankle injury. Jenkins keeps it again, and he is tugged down in the backfield by Donovan Branch.
They want to show you one thing, but good job of defense there by the UConn front, staying on point. The keys to this game, and the coach talked about it, control the line of scrimmage, make them uncomfortable, and they've done that so far today, and take pressure off the quarterback room, meaning lean on number one, who we haven't seen a lot of Aaron Turner. We will, 10 and 20, Jackson and Alexander, really wanting to see their three weapons make plays.
Might need Turner here on 3rd and 10. Jenkins fires. It is caught by Turner, who breaks a tackle and picks up the first down against his former team, UConn.
A BSB or what?
You called it.
And Turner is a guy that they will get involved. You can see there's a one-on-one situation. Nice job of him breaking the tackle. Lee Mollett not able to bring him down, and he's able to take that ball and get a first down. Keep the chains moving, and what did it do? It puts pressure on that UConn offense.
Now downhill to the 45-yard line. Dalen Alexander takes it. You know, Alexander was the one bright spot in that loss to UTSA 2 weeks ago. It was his first career 100-yard game. He went for 129 and a touchdown on 12 carries.
After not playing all of last year, but then having a breakout game, even in a loss, it's given him confidence. He's at 215 pounds, also a much bigger back, but has some explosiveness as well.
Feed it to him again. And Alexander is hit by Parham right at the line of scrimmage.
Really nice job by Parham of coming off a block and just meeting him in the hole. 14 tackles last week, 2 sacks. Watch 6 here. Just doing a nice job of scraping off their weight, and boom. When you play linebacker, you're used to what running backs do, because a lot of those guys have played that position, so they want to come downhill and meet you on the other side. Parham with a really nice tackle there.
Rice just converted 3rd and 10. How about 3rd and 3? Jenkins pulls it, and he gets waylaid. UConn getting home like they have all year. Stephon Wright, who played last year just 4 miles down the road at Texas Southern, with the sack.
Well, you try to hide if you're Chase Jenkins, but Stephon Rice back in Houston, not far away from here, making a play on this Rice Stadium field. Really nice job. And what you have to do is when they throw the ball, they were trying to do that little pop pass, you better get to them.
And Baquetta boots it. Harper, fair catch. Just inside the 25. A 40-yard punt by Baquetta. Well, UConn has punted each of their last 3 possessions after they opened with that 80-yard touchdown pass from Joe Fignano to Skylar Bell. What do you want to see right now from UConn?
Stop pressing, run the football. I know you want to go with 2. He's your guy, but get this offense comfortable. And then also, too, if you're getting 3rd and long or 3rd and medium, do some boot action to move him away from the trouble that Rice is able to bring with 5 or 6.
And out of the pistol. I think they heard you. Cam Edwards slithering close to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, the healthy dose for a struggling offense always is run the football, especially when you have guys in this offensive line in this spread or wide zone that they like to run with.
Again, Edwards to the short side of the field, and this time not as successful.
Right, nice job by the Rice defensive front. of not giving him any running room there. Now, watch, when you want to run wide zone, you want to push people out, but there's nowhere to push. Those guys are just holding tight and making sure you cannot find any run lane.
Connecticut 1 of 4 on third down. They face a 3rd and 4. Rice brings 5. Fignano connects with Skylar Bell for the first down into Rice territory. It's a gain of 21.
Omari Porter was in great position, but Skylar Bell does what a good receiver does. You don't go up until the last minute and you show those hands and you attack the football. Nice job.
Play action on first down. And Fignano's pass is caught. A leaping grab by John Nider, the former walk-on who had his first career touchdown last week, picks up 15.
Ted, I didn't think he had any chance of catching that. Now they're running tempo. Really nice job by Nider of going up and climbing the ladder.
Fignano does throw it into the flat after all, after the pump. And it's Raymello Murphy with a nominal gain.
This offense has been really predicated on wide zone and doing some other things, boot action to get him out. What did we say? But look at this catch. Great hands by the former walk-on. Had 2 last week, 14 on the year, first touchdown. Young man starting to show himself. 6'2", 205 out of Milford, Connecticut.
Was on the scout team a year ago, and Jim Moore's wife, Kathy, told Jim one night before bed, you really should play John Nider more.
Hey, coaches'
like,
wives know.
Now the screen, and Jackson Harper has nowhere to go. Tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Ted, they're around the program, and you made me laugh because Terry Donahue's wife, Andrea Donahue, used to always say her pillow talk had to help us in certain situations. Rest her soul. She just passed away not too long ago, and I used to love talking to Coach Donahue, or Miss Donahue, who just was so good about all of us. We felt like she was part of our family.
On 3rd and 8, running it with Edwards, might set up a 4th down, go-for-it situation for Connecticut. And Edwards takes it inside the 30. It'll be 4th and short for the Huskies.
And now you're kind of getting that momentum change, and you're also keeping Rice's offense on the sideline. And this is where what did they say? They said in almost any situation, we can pick up a 4th and short, right? Well, here's your opportunity to do it.
UConn 7 of 11 on 4th down this year. Offense stays out there on 4th and 3. Fignano on target. The tight end picking up the first down to the 20-yard line. It's Alex Honig.
Yeah, he's a guy that just, you look at his body. Bruce Feldman says he's on that freak list. Catches the ball well, was a TCU transfer. I love watching this tight end group, but he is one of those guys that can turn and just look at the physicality. You got to bring everybody to bring his big guy down.
6'7", 270 with a 36-inch vertical. Didn't need it there, but that's just absurd. First down, Fignano to the safety valve, and Edwards. And up the sideline, close to the first down. He's marked out at the 11.
Yeah, Fignano did a really nice job of holding everybody on the inside to the last second. He knows his check down is on the outside. This is what a 7th-year guy can do. And they're going tempo. They're going to get Rice with a penalty.
Boy, Rice was shuffling on late there.
They were upset, though, because they said they had a substitution. We should be allowed the same. Scott Abel was really upset with that.
And instead, the timeout granted for Rice as we approach the 2-minute timeout here in this first half. A 10-7 Rice lead here in what is a non-conference game. Rice in its 3rd year in the American. And of course, when you project ahead to the playoff and the spot that will go to the highest ranked group of 5 conference champion, it is all about the American. South Florida had the best chance coming in. Going down to Memphis, though, today, 34-31 in a whale of a game. Brendan Lewis, questionable coming in with an injury. He fought through the injury, and what a play he made here in the final 2 minutes.
Huge win for Memphis, but it upsets a South Florida team that was trying to get in that position to keep that one loss.
And for the tie, South Florida, a 52-yard field goal try did not convert. Memphis winning 34-31. Edwards carries on first down out of the timeout inside the 5. Beg your pardon, it was 2nd and 1. Now it's 1st and goal for Connecticut.
Got a guy, Cam Edwards, who's just tough and will get it done. Says he's always banged up, but shows up when he needs to. Just shows up when he has to.
There was a penalty against Rice there, but it was declined. UConn taking the result of the play, that run by Edwards, 1st and goal at the 4. And that might take us to the 2-minute timeout. Well, UConn is on the doorstep here. Just before halftime, looking to reclaim the lead here in Houston.
game clock started now. So we will reset the game clock.
10-7 Rice lead. UConn hoping to change that. Out of the 2-minute timeout, they have a 1st and goal inside the 5. Started with the big play for the touchdown. 3 consecutive punts after that, but now coming up, the 11th play of this drive.
Yeah, this is an offense that is accustomed to explosives, but they also can control the clock, and this has been a really good drive for them to attack this Rice defense.
UConn chasing a 5th consecutive win, and a chance to become bowl eligible before November. Fignano, a leap, and incomplete. John Nider coming down out of bounds.
Jarek Harper on the defense there. Number 5, getting the opportunity, the junior out of Silsbee. Nice job of pulling that out at the last second. Playing all the way to the ground.
Well, apparently they added 9 seconds. We have not hit the 2-minute timeout after all. That was a result of the penalty called against Rice before we stepped aside. Vignano's pass broken up, and a flag this time as Vignano was once again aiming for Nider. Omari Porter had the coverage for Rice.
Yeah, Omari Porter.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, they called that against Romello Murphy.
In what turns out to be the first accepted penalty of the game.
Pretty clean game up until that point. Yeah, Amari Porter looked like he was like, hey, why are you guys calling it on me? Well, clearly, that was an OPI, offensive pass interference, instead of defensive pass interference.
So now UConn backed up to the 19 for 2nd and goal.
This defense has really played much better, more enthusiasm, and we heard that from Ty Morris, a former baseball player, talking about how we were really going to play. He's the green dot guy. He's the guy that gets everything going on that front 7.
So 2nd and goal at the 19. Vignano gets rid of it into the flat. Lewis Hansen, another one of his tight ends, ushered out of bounds just shy of the 10, and now it's 3rd and goal for the Huskies.
He has a 3-man combination at tight end: Juice Farine, Lewis Hansen, and Alex Honey. And really nice tackle there, and not letting Hansen pick up any extra yards. Marcus Williams really playing well, an explosive guy for him, but a really nice open field tackle.
Rice promised more pressure from their defense out of the bye week. Let's see if they dial something up here on 3rd and goal from the 12. Here they come. Vignano to Edwards for the touchdown. Vignano beats the blitz with the 12-yard touchdown to his back, Cam Edwards, and UConn is back on top.
When they bring pressure, usually you speed up. Vignano slowed down. He looked inside, knew when the pressure was coming, and he just takes his time. He sees it and knows it's there, but then Cam Edwards is outside, no one covering, a bus. And if you have 6 coming, there has to be somebody to take the back, and if they don't, that's where you beat them. Nice job by that UConn offense. I respect Rice, though. I love what they're doing. They're forcing. They're saying, look, if you're going to beat us, we're going to bring everything at you. We may call people out of the stands to come out.
Boy, that extra point just sneaks through. Earlier in the season, just a couple of weeks ago, Rice might have needed people out of the stands, considering all the injuries on defense.
Defensively, they're stepping up, and they're making it hard for UConn, and that gives their offense a chance to do some different things.
But that really was an important drive for Connecticut after they had gotten a little stagnant offensively in the middle of this first half.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what you have to do. You have to find ways, and UConn knew this. When talking to their staff, they said, these guys are going to be ready. They're not going to play like they played the last time we saw them. You know, they knew that. And Rice has been one of those teams that has just been, you know, determined and tough. That's what Jim Mora has built for his team. And remember, they've gone through what Rice is trying to do now, so he understands it. He says, hey, I don't want them to play well now. He said, but I have a lot of respect for what they're doing over there.
Yeah, Morris said it. You can see what Rice can become with Scott Abel. But once again, it's a journey. It just takes a little bit of time. All that said, Rice, ultra competitive out of the bye, and after that 61-13 beatdown 2 weeks ago. Freeman sends it away. And so Rice, with 1 timeout in the back pocket, will start from the 25.
Well, I really love what Scott Abel said, too, when we talked to him about failure, being a baseball player. He was a catcher, right? Catchers are the quarterback. They call everything. They do everything. And what he said was so profound in the way of, you know, I just said, hey, baseball is a game of failure. And he said, yeah, it is. But you learn how to work through it. You learn how to just get through it and get to the other side.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Football, he says, was always his first love. He was just a better baseball player and was in the Kansas City Royals organization as a minor leaguer before he became a coach. Jenkins taking a shot, and Quentin Jackson has it. He steps out of a tackle, and he's got another long touchdown, this time from 75 yards.
UConn, you got explosives, so do we. Q Jackson, Action Jackson today. I saw this coming from up here. They faked him the ball, they put him in a one-on-one situation, and man, he is having a game. That rest paid off well. Watch the fake here. He's gonna sneak out, and there's one guy on that side that has to cover him. And even everybody was fooled pretty much, except Quentin Jackson, knowing I have this ball, I'm gonna take it again to the house.
And Goda with the extra point. We're having some technical difficulties with our score bug. Rice reclaiming the lead at 17-14 over Connecticut with 1:35 to go in this first half.
Well, what you have is a play fake and a quarterback he's feeling so much better now. And then Quentin Jackson is just going to get out there. Look at all the eye candy, but it's one guy he has to beat. And he sees Pringle, knows I got him, but I'm hesitating, and Quentin Jackson runs right by him. There's no safety help because the ball is going to get down there. Beautiful throw by Chase Jenkins of allowing him to get down the field, but Pringle's eyes didn't. I love what their defensive back coordinator said, Matt Brock, eye transfer. His eyes didn't transfer to the place that he needed to be, and that's why he was beat on that play.
This Rice offense, when it is calibrated well, like honestly it has been for most of this first half, you see the stress that it puts on a defense, the deception at play every single snap.
You have to always be ready. Whenever you talk to D coordinators, when they're facing an option team, they look like they haven't had any sleep because they're just thinking, okay, I got to do that. I have to have an answer for this. It's almost like chess, but it's chess on steroids because you cannot play checkers against an option team. You have to be in chess mode, and your players have to be so focused.
Goda kicks away, and UConn will have it from the 25. 1:35 remaining in the half. All 3 timeouts remaining for the Huskies. And remember, UConn has the ball to start the second half.
You know, this is the thing about teams when you play them and you don't see this a lot, and they've had a chance to rest and repair and get restored. This is what makes Rice tough today. And this UConn team knew it. Let's see if they can answer.
All of a sudden, we got a track meet brewing here. After the struggles there in the middle of the half. Vignano fires. It's Skylar Bell going to the top rung to bring it in at the 41, a gain of 16.
Whenever I need a play, Vignano says, number one, I'm going to find him out of the Bronx, New York. Not a lot of players come out of the Bronx, but when they do, man, you remember them.
So UConn right back over the ball. Clock stopped momentarily here. Actually, Bell was out of bounds there with the catch, so clock stopped at 1:30. Vignano dumps it off the hands of Victor Rosa.
Vignano would want that one back. He had Victor Rosa and probably some extra yards that he could pick up after that catch. That's what he's known for, good ball skills. Not ever fazed by anything. Has played in some really big games and made a lot of plays for this UConn offense.
So 2nd and 10 for Connecticut. Clock stopped at 1:25. A 17-14 Rice lead. Vignano back to Rosa. He's got it this time, and he's got a first down. Past the 50, and the clock will stop momentarily with the first down, a gain of 12.
There was pressure on Vignano, but he was able to get it to Rosa. Rosa takes the ball up the field and tries to take on Ty Morris, gets another first down.
UConn doesn't call a timeout here. Clock rolling again now at 1:10. Vignano right back to Rosa again and out of bounds. at the 42-yard line.
You better use up as much clock as you can because we know this Rice offense can be explosive as well.
Yeah, who would have said that about the triple option, even if it is out of the spread with Quentin Jackson? Yes, it is here today.
The run gun.
Now, but UConn clicking it down the field here, and again, plenty of time, 1:08 to go, and again, all 3 timeouts. And they run it with Victor Rosa. And Rosa slashes for the first down inside the 35.
Really good job by Rosa and this offensive line getting back into their wide zone principles. He talked about it. The offensive coordinator, Alex Gibbs, you watched a lot of his tape. Bill Walsh, all those principles of getting out, stretching, and then running downhill.
Now under a minute to play in the half. Fignano, open target. It's Juice Vereen. Another touchdown for Vereen. 34 yards. The breakout continues.
When you have so many weapons, you just know if somebody is there, just get them the ball. Juice Vereen has been the guy the last few weeks that has just really come on the scene in this passing offense. The number 11 to the side there is just going to get lost, just like earlier. But Harper there is not in position. That's his guy, but he just lets him go. And this is what Juice Vereen has done the last couple of weeks. Been open like that.
Trouble with the play clock here. 49 seconds to play in the half. And UConn seizing the lead again at 20-17.
Got an offensive breakout here.
Freeman, oh, he slipped and still guides it through. This is the same area of the field where we saw a player slip earlier. But Freeman stays perfect on extra points in his 2 years at UConn. Juice Vereen, 3rd touchdown of his career, all coming in the last 2 weeks. Had a couple against BC last week. And Vereen had been experiencing some frustration, Buck. Joe Fignano told him, you just got to stick with me. Yeah. I'm going to find you.
And Fignano knows where guys are going to be. And these are the wrinkles that I love with this offense because you've run the ball effectively. And right here, this could have been ugly for UConn, but they were able to get it. But you know where basically Jarek Harper is going to be on that side in that corner position. If you get by him, there's no one back there on that backside, and that's just a beautiful recognition and understanding of playing the keys and playing them effectively.
49 seconds remaining in the half. No, the first half still has not come to an end. The teams just keep scoring. And a fair catch, which will bring it out to the 25 by Samaj Pierre. Rice, 1 timeout remaining. UConn did not use any of their timeouts. If Rice can't get anything going here, UConn might burn some timeouts to try to get the ball back.
Well, I will say this. Wherever number 10 is, you better follow him. And he has been such an effective weapon when he's been in the ball game.
Quentin Jackson is not on the field to start the drive. Jenkins the keeper, and Jenkins has an alley. Goes down inside the 45.
Edges have to be on the edge, and when Chase Jenkins sees that's not happening, he's there. He's able to make things happen.
21-yard pickup right back over the ball. And now the screen for Aaron Turner. And Turner advances into Connecticut territory. Well, and a timeout called with 33 seconds to go in the half, with UConn leading 21-17. Rice is so glad to have Chase Jenkins back in the lineup after his ankle injury 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's a guy that they just love having in this offense. He's learning the quarterback position, but when he is on, you can see today, not only is he able to throw it, he can run it, and there's so many things that he brings to this offense that are so effective that they love blocking for him. He is really a difference maker when he's got the ball in his hands. no edge. When you lose edge contain, he sees that and he's able to get outside. They have spread out wide, and he can count in the box where he's going to have any pressure, and he sees none and he gets around.
Rice called its final timeout, 33 seconds to play in the half, 21-17 UConn. Jenkins on the move again, and he hits Aaron Turner. It's a first down. Out of bounds, clock stops with 27 seconds. Rice now at the UConn 42.
And this DeAndre Hardiman is another young man they like out of North Shore who's in the game now, number 27. So they've got some young guys that can play. Quentin Jackson can get a rest and then come back rested and ready to go for the second half.
Jenkins, eyes downfield. Comes short, incomplete, wide of Drayden Dickman. Now 21 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that was an injured player.
Now UConn defenders down. Antonio Harris Jr., the sixth-year senior defensive lineman out of Chicago.
You know, you talk about Quentin Jackson coming back healthy. He's been explosive, and you don't see him on the field, but it's probably smart because you want to make sure he stays healthy. Every time he's had a chance to do something, he's made the most of it.
The target for a field goal before the end of the half would be around the 33 for Enoch Goda. His career long is 49 yards. That was against Prairie View earlier this season. Now 2nd and 10 at the 42. Rice trailing 21-17. Jenkins pass ends up in the hands of Aaron Turner and out of bounds just inside the 40. A short gain, now 17 seconds.
Aaron Turner had some familiarity with Scott Abel. Brother played for him. Eli played football at Davidson for Scott Abel, so when he got in the portal, that was an easy call to make.
And now Eli is a GA, a grad assistant at Rice.
That he was so key in helping turn that program around for him.
3rd and 7. Jenkins lofts it. And broken up. He wanted Landon Ransom goals. Malachi McLean, the Houston native, back home and making the play defensively.
Yeah, he was able to go up. The ball hung in the air. Ransom Gold tried to get to it, but McLean was up and just reached up and did a nice job of pulling that ball out. Had 10 tackles last week. A half a tackle for loss was all over the field as well.
So 9 seconds to go in the half. The offense stays out there on 4th and 7. Jenkins dumps it. Turner another grab, but short of the sticks.
Jenkins was looking. Turner was trying to get the first down, but then he also was looking to stop the clock and couldn't do either. He slipped a little bit. A really nice tackle there at Diamande.
And so 4 seconds to play in the first half. A turnover on downs by Rice.
Had an exciting first half.
Yeah, the last few minutes of the half for sure, but big plays galore, starting with the 80-yard strike from Fignano to Skylar Bell. And Fignano takes the knee to send everyone to the locker rooms. A 21-17 lead for Joe Fignano and the Connecticut Huskies on the road as they score in the final minute of the first half and head to the locker room with the lead.
Oh, that's what you want to do. You want to have that opportunity.
Down to the field, Smacker.
Coach, how do you get back to getting some pressure on Fignano?
Well, it's a delicate situation, right? You know, because if we pressure him with a 6-man pressure, 5-man pressure, you know, we expose to some of their great athletes out wide. So it's a balancing act. We'll have to continue to play a little chess game with them and choose our moments to try to get there.
Quentin Jackson with 2 major explosive touchdowns. How is he able to be so dynamic?
Well, he's just a fantastic football player for us, and trying to get him more involved in the offense. I give credit to really our offensive line's done a great job, right? Chase has really been phenomenal in that first half, and we just got to continue to take what they give us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Well, Scott Abel vowed that his team would be different coming out of the bye week. They've looked like a different squad, but it is UConn on top. Once again on the road, Huskies looking for a 5th consecutive win. They're up 21-17. Coming up, we take a look at the top plays of the week in the American Conference. At the half here on South Main, UConn and Rice. Time to check out the top plays of the week in the American. Here's Maria Tribalpiece.
Welcome into Studio A. I'm Maria Tribalpiece. Postseason for women's soccer is approaching, and it was rivalry week in football, so naturally we had some craziness across the conference. I mentioned rivalry week in the American. This is one of my personal favorites, the battle for the bones, UAB and Memphis. Blazers started with an early lead, but Sutton Smith had something to say about that. He'll take this ball 99 yards to the house. Oh my goodness. about that women's soccer that I promised earlier. Here's North Texas and Rice. Mia Bernard in front of the net. Some fancy footwork. She scores the goal. Some more action from the battle for the bones. This one coming from the Blazers. Backup quarterback Ryder Burton to Iverson, hooks in the end zone. He makes the catch. I'm not really sure how. Comes up with the ball. And oh, by the way, Blazers win this game. Here's some more women's soccer for you. Memphis and East Carolina. Ashley Henderson is the Offensive Player of the Week for a reason. She had 1 and 2 goals. That was her second, coming off the header. The rematch of last year's American Conference Championship game did not disappoint. Tulane and Army, and somehow that ball pops into the hands of Shaz Preston. Jake Retzloff can't believe it either. Green Wave win this one. If you see a top play this week, make sure you use the hashtag American Top Plays on social. Keep it right here. We have more action coming up for you on ESPN+.
City in Houston. We're at the half between Connecticut and Rice. You know, the American on ESPN Plus is home to over 40 college football games, 1,000 exclusive live events, and every American Conference championship throughout the season. You're with us right now on ESPN Plus, but for more information, make sure and sign up in case you haven't already. Stream.espn.com. Back to Maria in Studio A.
Welcome into Studio A. I'm Maria Tribal-Peace. Every week, we honor the top performers in men's soccer, women's soccer, volleyball, and football in our American's Best segment. This is who we have this week. The Offensive Player of the Week in volleyball is Rice's Taylor Preston. Preston helped lead the Owls to a 2-0 week, averaging 5.50 kills per set and 6.19 points per set while hitting .322. The goalkeeper of the week in men's soccer is UAB's Francisco Ranieri. Ranieri was a force in the net, picking up 10 saves in the win in Chapel Hill over number 17 North Carolina. The special teams player of the week is East Carolina's Nick Mazzy. Mazzy scored 11 points as he connected on a pair of field goals and was 5 for 5 on PATs to help East Carolina to a 41-27 win against Tulsa. The women's soccer offensive player of the week is Memphis's Ashley Henderson. Henderson scored 2 goals as Memphis defeated East Carolina 5-0 on Sunday afternoon, October 19th. The junior opened the scoring for the match in the 3rd minute and tallied another goal in the 61st minute as the Tigers clinched their 3rd consecutive American regular season championship. For more on the American's weekly awards, you can visit our website at theamerican.org. Keep it right here. We have more action coming up for you on ESPN Plus.
that looks pretty good right about now. We might not have brisket and other barbecue for you on the other side, but we will have the second half kickoff between UConn and Rice. Buck, Smacker, and I will have the highlights from the first half and the second half kickoff in a moment. Here in Houston, you are watching The American on ESPN. A 21-17 lead for Connecticut. Bowl eligibility there for the taking for the Huskies. Rice trying to put a stop to its three-game losing streak. And we welcome you back inside Rice Stadium along with the All-American from UCLA, Charles Arbuckle. I'm Ted Emmerich, Smacker Miles here as well. Can't get over the explosion we saw at the end of that first half. These teams combined for 3 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, Ted, it was one of those things where it was punch, counter punch, and now it's interesting to see who can come out in the second half and keep that explosion up. I mean, it was unbelievable.
And we had explosions right out of the gate. First, 80 yards, Joe Fignano to Skylar Bell.
Yeah, Skylar Bell hits in stride, a really nice setup, play design, and they get him open. And just really, then it's Quentin Jackson who kind of takes over. The diminutive but mighty runner who was able to run through guys and get there. And then when you bring pressure and you don't have someone, Cam Edwards able to get in for a quick point, but this was a huge play. Quentin Jackson able to beat Devin Pringle on that side, and that is what we've got here. A lot of offense, and then coming right back, Fignano again, able to hit Juice Vereen, who has 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. So hold on in this second half.
Now the touchdown to Vereen coming in the final minute. And UConn with the 21-17 lead. The Huskies have the ball to start the second half. Terrence Smith trying to go east and west, and he doesn't make it past the 15. Great coverage by Rice.
You got to have guys that can get down the field. Nice job there.
UConn has done so much damage through the years. We check out the stats from the first half. Joe Fignano is just lighting it up again. He's got 3 touchdowns through the air. You saw all of them there moments ago. But Rice actually balanced. Yes, the spread option coming to life here today with Chase Jenkins back in the lineup.
Well, remember after the first quarter, there were only 5 rush yards, and then UConn started getting better with that, but Rice has been very balanced.
Fignano swings it to Skylar Bell. Top 5 receiver in the country coming in both yards and catches, and that's his 5th catch of this game.
And Ted, that's almost like an extended handoff, right? It's a pass, and it goes down in the pass category. But Skylar Bell is so effective with the football yards after catch that you want to get him in space so he can make some things happen.
Bell up to 129 yards on the day. Again, that 80-yard score to start things off. Fignano again to the air, all the sidestep, and Fignano scrambles past the 20-yard line. Nice wheels by the quarterback.
A nice job of making one guy miss and then picking up some positive yards, because it's much better to be in 3rd and 3 than 3rd and 6 or 7. Fignano sees it, knows I've got to make the big guy miss me. Just enough to get back by Clark Jolivet.
So an early 3rd down here in the second half. The Huskies need 3. UConn was 3 of 7 on 3rd down in the first half. Fignano steps up and delivers. John Nider after the catch. First down and much more. To the 44-yard line, a pickup of 23.
Nider with a nice one, and Temple again going across the field, finding him and moving fast. UConn is.
Now that wide zone with Cam Edwards. Everything about this UConn offense starts with that kind of run play.
They build everything off of the wide zone. Just the hustle back by Nider. I mean, he has just been all over the field.
High school quarterback was Nider. Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Connecticut 2 years ago. He would have gone Division III had he not walked on at UConn, he says. Fignano with time. Rosa. A little hop, but not much there for Victor Rosa. Gain of a yard.
Chavez again making a nice play. 6 comes in and just a little dirty plays right there. You see, if he doesn't make that tackle, Rosa can pick up some more yards and make it 3rd and short. This Rice defense has just been really battling today.
Instead, it's 3rd and 9. Rice doesn't bring the heat. Fignano at the last second gets dropped by Bell. 4th down.
Well, they bring enough heat where it gets Fignano off schedule, and then he's trying to get rid of the football and can't get it to Skylar Bell. Even if he does, that's not going to be enough for a 1st down. Really good defense again by this Rice team that was much maligned last week, looking much better. See Joseph Matumbo coming up and would have been right there in the face of Skylar Bell.
Stutz the punt and the fair catch by Tyson Thompson. 43-yard punt. UConn up 21-17. Rice with the stop to open the second half. Big hits from Ty Morris, a veteran at linebacker. Well, this guy is just pre-gaming for Halloween. And on Friday, Rice is going to host Memphis. Why not show up early? A wizard is here at Rice Stadium.
He came to impress.
I would not be surprised if wizardry was actually a major at Rice University, by the way. There's one school that could do it. It is Rice. So Rice starts this possession with Quentin Jackson on the ground for a couple of yards. They're down 21-17. Jackson has a 73-yard touchdown run and a 75-yard touchdown catch.
Well, he talked about being able to get rest after, you know, the 7-game stretch, but also really understanding what they wanted to accomplish and what they could do against UConn if they could upset them, so to speak.
Jenkins on the roll. And he hits Drayden Dickman, a first down to the 25-yard line.
And I'll make it clear, he didn't talk about being an upset. He just said if we go out and play well, we expect to win. And that's the confidence you want to have from your captain. And it's allowing Chase Jenkins to really get comfortable, the sophomore out of Katy, Texas, A-Leaf Taylor.
And Jenkins has been on point. Again, back to full strength after he had to exit with the ankle injury 2 weeks ago against UTSA. And a penalty flag. We have not seen many of these at all today.
offense, number 60, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's the first penalty against Rice. There's only one penalty against UConn today.
UConn during that stretch of wins has played pretty clean, and Rice, generally, they don't beat themselves. Except in that the losing streak, they haven't been clean, but today clearly cleaned up a lot of that stuff that they had going on. And also, too, 3 offensive linemen back today that really helps. David Stickle, the center, was out since Prairie View.
Jenkins kept it and got dropped in the backfield.
Struggled with the ball. The ball wasn't clean, and he lost it. And at that point, he had to just salvage it. Major loss. See, sometimes in the option game, the bodies can get in the way of the ball. And that was a prime example. He didn't pull it out quick enough. And Quentin Jackson knocks it away from him as he's going off into his next step.
So with the penalty and the negative play, 2nd and 21, Jenkins to Aaron Turner. And Turner takes it past the 20-yard line. Still 3rd and 15 coming up.
A lot of what they did, UConn, is they worked with their scout team. They did a lot of walkthroughs. They had different guys showing them different looks so they could, you know, all of the different things that you'll see. The variation of this offense is really what they wanted to make sure they repped mentally.
Now on 3rd and long, screen for Jackson, staying upright, searching for space, and Jackson is cut down just past the line of scrimmage. So UConn forces 4th down.
The initial play, really nice job by DeMond Brinson, but Jackson is one that everybody says, hey, we got to touch this guy and keep touching him. Finally, Lee Mollett is able to bring him down.
Oh, and you see Jackson just a bit ginger coming off the field. That's something to watch when Rice gets the ball back. Jackson had just gotten back to 100% himself after battling multiple injuries. Harper on the return. And a nice one at that. UConn will start in Rice territory. About midway through this 3rd quarter, UConn on top and looking for more. We asked UConn coach Jim Mora this week, what's it like coaching a 25-year-old quarterback at the college level? He's like, man, I don't even think about that, 25. But Joe Fignano carving up another defense today. It's such a calming effect. And, oh, by the way, as Jim Mora told us, Fignano's getting married, got engaged back in the spring. And Mora said, really, you're getting married? Oh, wait, you are 25 after all. It's not that young. UConn starts with the great field position. And another pass from Fignano to Skylar Bell and a first down for the Huskies, gain of 11.
His favorite guy, Skylar Bell, clearly. They really work well together, but there's so many other weapons that you have to defend against, and that allows Skylar Bell to have some one-on-one coverage at times.
Bell so close to transferring to Michigan, had an offer on the table, even skipped bowl practices last December to visit Ann Arbor. But Jim Mora said he never stopped recruiting Bell. Said, I was going to fight for him every step of the way. First down. Fignano airs it out. Vereen broken up. Incomplete.
Chavez again. Really good coverage. Talked a lot about him and his viper position and coming back, being able to play, and he didn't. What he did a nice job of is not attacking the player, but just putting his hands up and getting in his way. If he had run into Vereen, that would have been a penalty. Nice job by Joe Chavez.
See what a healthy secondary can do for Rice, getting multiple guys on the back end back in the lineup this week. Flowers in at running back with his first carry. And MJ Flowers has it down to the 30-yard line to bring up about 3rd and 6.
Eastern Illinois transfer.
So 3rd down here for the Huskies. So they're 4 of 9 today. They're in that area of the field again, Buck, where the run is not out of the question. Potentially setting up 4th and short, depending on the look that they get here.
This is where Rice has been dialing up that pressure, where they're coming with 5, sometimes 6. Let's see if they do it here.
They are within Freeman's range. Edwards the run. And down to the 27, so 4th and 3 now for Connecticut. And the field goal unit does come on.
Yeah, they clearly were setting it up so they could be in position to make this an easier, more manageable field goal.
Chris Freeman, the 6th-year senior, will try from 45. It would be his season long. His career long is 53, set last year. And a school record is at stake here for Freeman. Chris Freeman knocks it through. It's his 12th consecutive made field goal. He owns that record all to himself at UConn. Chris Freeman is money, and he extends the UConn lead. A dozen in a row for Freeman. And UConn is up 7.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Yeah, Rice Stadium, truly a home of such historic events. That speech from John F. Kennedy in 1962, and of course Houston turns into Space City. Rice University has produced 16 people who have served as either astronauts or NASA administrators. The ties that bind, Buck. This stadium has been open since 1950, 75 years, and JFK delivering that speech, launching the space program, essentially.
It's pretty incredible because as a young kid growing up in the Houston area, we would go on field trips to NASA, and being around this program, working out here, you don't understand the history until you're away from it, and then you come back. Unbelievable.
Today it hosts what is a one-score game between UConn and Rice. Owls get the ball back and a push into the line for 3 yards for Dalen Alexander. We'll keep an eye on Quentin Jackson here. Remember, Jackson walking gingerly off the field to close out the last Rice possession. It's Alexander to start this possession.
Well, and you knew you were going to see different guys there. He's not going to play him the whole time, but he is such a key component to this offense. You want to make sure he's available.
Now the pop pass to Samaj Pierre, the true freshman from Baton Rouge, and Pierre gets popped.
Really nice job by that defense of never letting Pierre turn his shoulders upfield. He kept him at the sideline the whole time. There were multiple players that were in position to make sure that he had nowhere to run.
So 3rd and 9 for Rice.
Rice has struggled to get some offensive rhythm that we saw in that first half.
Being 3 of 10 on 3rd down certainly doesn't help. Jenkins slipped, and he tosses it away. Boy, Jenkins in the pocket there. I didn't see a receiver in the area. He's under heavy duress. No flag on the field.
And he got it past the line of scrimmage, which is one indicator too. But did the pocket change as he moved over? That was what I was thinking. He slips, just probably got to that point where he's outside the tackle area.
So just an incomplete pass, 4th down, and Baqueta has to punt again. Harper comes up to meet it. Fair catch at the 40. Just a 35-yard punt by Baqueta, and the ball is back in the hands of Joe Fignano and the UConn offense.
Fignano is such an effective player.
Get great field position for Connecticut. They start from the 39. And Fignano's pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage. Downstairs to Smacker.
I talked to Fignano earlier this week about the 4-win streak and how well their offense has been playing, and he said their run and pass game really feeds off each other. He feels like they can do whatever they need to do to win each week, and that's been a big part of their success. He was complimentary towards the Owls defense, but he was also confident in the fact that the Huskies could have success if they just play their game.
Yes, Macker, it has been all about Fignano's arm. They have not gotten much production on the ground here today with Cam Edwards and the rest of the backs. 2nd down, short pass to Bell, steps out of a tackle, and bring up 3rd and medium for UConn.
Yeah, they're using some of that short passing to be a run threat because they haven't gotten a natural run game that they're accustomed to. But any way you can, you got to just figure that out. And I think the one thing here is that they've been in third and long or third and medium and haven't been able to convert. That's what Rice has been able to do. When they get them in this situation, coming with 5 or 6 and confusing Vignano a little bit in this second half. See those guys creeping up.
Here comes the blitz up the middle, and Vignano hits Skylar Bell. Found the vacated area, Buck, and it's a first down inside the Rice 45. Still going is Skylar Bell.
Been doing your football homework, Ted. I like it. Wherever that vacated area, that's the place you throw to. Vignano knew it. As soon as he sees it, get rid of the ball right there. And he's able to, and even the rusher is trying to block it down, but he can't because he can't get to him. Nice job.
I'm hanging around you too much. That's how I'm starting to learn. Here's MJ Flowers down inside the 40. Pick up a 5 yards.
Maybe 5 on that carry.
Just when you can see the things that are now starting to happen. They're trying to run the ball effectively with the wide zone. They bring pressure. Vignano seems to be able to know where that pressure is. At his age and his maturity of learning and understanding this offense, he knows where to go with the football.
Vignano over 300 yards passing yet again. He set his UConn career high in passing the last 2 games. He might do it again today. Off the pump. Off Vignano, cocking and throwing it away.
Smart play. He had nowhere to go and just gets rid of it. Rice does a good job of taking everything away on that particular play. This Rice defense, I can't say enough about night and day from what I saw. And Jim Mora, his defensive background and acumen, he would probably say, man, they are playing us tougher today than what he even saw on tape.
Far different story from the UTSA game when Rice gave up 61 2 weeks ago. So UConn staring at another 3rd down. Can they convert again? Just a 4-man rush this time. Downfield, back shoulder, incomplete. Intended for Chris Parker, the Central Michigan transfer. It's 4th down. There is a flag down.
Efrain Dotson in good position. Good coverage there. Redshirt freshman out of Missouri City. I know that area.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 73. 15-yard penalty enforced in the previous spot. The down counts. It's now 4th down.
Oh, man. So it's on the center, Wes Ho, and UConn is backed up even more out of Rice territory on 4th down.
Yeah, those are been a pretty penalty-free game, but that's a key one against Wes Ho.
And UConn was right on the edge of Chris Freeman's field goal range without that penalty.
No win today, 50 to 55 to 57 yards if he can. And Jim Moore, I know he's upset.
Instead, Connor Stutz has to punt. Trying to hang it up. And the fair catch by Thompson inside the 10. Well done by Stutz. A 44-yard punt, pinning Rice inside the 10.
This Rice defense has just found ways to get their offense the ball back. When their offense has had it, they've made some really key plays. Again, now we see Quentin Jackson back in the game.
And Jackson, the 73-yard touchdown run, 75-yard touchdown reception in the first half. Did not play the last series, walked off gingerly the drive before. He's got the ball. He's not walking gingerly now. He's got a first down out across the 25-yard line. A gain of 17.
It's almost like I don't think they realize how fast he is. And like you said, the fresh legs are coming back. But this offensive line does. Look how they get out in front of him, give him some opportunities, and then when he hits the hole, he's very decisive. Love the patience, but I love the explosion when he has an opportunity to get into open field. Cam Chadwick pushing him out of bounds.
Now Jenkins keeps it. And Jenkins plowing for a couple to the 28. When we sat down with Quentin Jackson yesterday, we asked him about his experience as a quarterback in high school at North Crowley near Fort Worth. And he said it's helped him from a leadership perspective, but also being able to read a defense. And you see that play out on the field.
Yeah, I mean, really good running backs generally have a tendency to understand where they need to be and where their blockers are going to be and how the defense is going to defend them. And that's what he's so good at.
Jackson up the cut. And another first down for Rice to the 38-yard line.
But the orbit motion also does what it's supposed to do, because when you have that, it moves those linebackers over and it allows Jackson to get in position really quickly to make a run.
Now Rice going up tempo here in the final minute of the third quarter. Once again, Hickman the motion man. They feed it to Jackson. And Quentin Jackson bangs to the 42.
And sometimes they'll stay with the same play. That motion, that orbit motion, will move people over, and it gives Jackson an opportunity to find some spots.
How do you react to that if you're a defensive player?
You can't overreact to the motion to make sure you're in position, so when that run comes at you, you're there in that position as well. They have to make the adjustment and make sure that their safety, the second and third level, is coming down at the right angle too.
Now Jenkins diving to the 45. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Rice when we start the fourth quarter from Houston. Rice started this drive inside their 10, on the move, down a touchdown at home, trying to put a stop to a 3-game losing streak. On to the fourth quarter, Rice facing 3rd and 3. DeAndre Hardiman Jr. blasting ahead into UConn territory to the 38. The true freshman from North Shore High School here in Houston picks up 17.
Yeah, Quentin Jackson has worked on the belly of that interior defensive area for UConn, and now you have Hardiman coming in and really making some plays.
His dad, with the same name, scored 30 touchdowns in his career at Texas A&M in the mid-90s. DeAndre Hardiman Jr. now here at Rice, and Hardiman grinds for 3 more.
It's come really good job on that interior by the offensive line.
Well, Buck, this day belongs to Quentin Jackson. Hardiman's the number 3 running back for Rice. He's making big plays. The spread option has come to life for Rice, and Joe Fignano always alive for UConn. Another 300-yard passing day and 3 touchdowns. 8th play of the drive for the Owls. Hardiman again off the spin, taking shots, and Hardiman is down to the 30 to bring up 3rd and a couple.
Again, really good job by this offensive line of pulling and getting in front, allowing Hardiman or Jackson or Alexander or whoever's running to get some positive yards and put it in 3rd and short. Now you have so many different options when you have this kind of situation.
They feed Hardiman again, showing that triple option. Jenkins gave it to him, and it's a 1st down for Rice.
Defensive line is moving a little bit slower. Even those linebackers who are trying to get in there and stop some of that bleeding. This is where Rice just starts to lean on you. They're taking their time, not having to rush, using clock, but also churning yards.
Now Jenkins hit right at the line, wrapped up.
It's Ryan Parham. Started out at San Jose State, UW, and then UConn. Watch 6 here coming to your screen. In the hole, and just fills it again. With a little bit of help from this buddy, Diomande. Linebackers always kind of compete to see who can get the most tackles. I think they got a half, or they'll figure that one out.
That one. Both have been big playmakers all year for UConn. Now how about this look? The pitch to Dickman. Field opening up. Ball got popped out, but Dickman out to the 10-yard line for Rice. 1st and goal after the 16-yard run.
They kept going to that side, and all of a sudden just add a little wrinkle with Dickman coming back around. And that is where you have guys out in front able to block for you. Really good block there by Hardiman. At the end, good job by this offensive line and the crew of blocking.
1st and goal. Hardiman inside the 5, a stiff arm, and a trip to the end zone for his 1st career touchdown.
Rice is feeling it. Devin Pringle had an opportunity in the hole, but Hardiman looking like his daddy, running hard. True to the name of Hardiman. Now watch 2 come in the screen. He has to make this tackle in the hole. He doesn't. Hardiman with the spin job, able to just get by Brinson and the rest of the crew to get in the end zone.
Right down the road, Hardiman was a star at one of the powerhouse high school programs in the state of Texas, the North Shore Mustangs. And now he helps Rice tie the game. His 1st career touchdown here at Rice from 10 yards out. We're tied at 24. Yawn, light work from DeAndre Hardiman Jr. DeAndre Hardiman Jr. just tied it up for Rice, and he left an imprint on the face mask of Damon Brinson.
Yeah, he was able to get that jackhammer out with the arm and beat Pringle first, and then Brinson gave him a little bit too.
Hardiman's first career touchdown. Again, the number 3 running back for Rice mixing in to complement Quentin Jackson and Dalen Alexander, and what a drive Rice just put together.
What you can ask for is to be in the game, and I think that's what Rice, is enthusiastic. They have Fignano on the other side, who we've seen manufacture some big plays. But they've done a pretty good job against the run game of UConn.
Cam Edwards has not gotten loose. That has put more on the shoulders of Joe Fignano, and Fignano is more than up to the task. 302 yards, 3 touchdowns. He still hasn't thrown a pick this year.
It's amazing.
And down a tie game, 4th quarter. This is exactly what he would ask for.
Exactly. Big win last week over Boston College. Week before, FIU. Really started turning the corner after the Buffalo game, they felt.
Put Fignano on the move, and he hits Lewis Hanson, and Hanson gets smacked. Short gain on the play. Marcus Williams in there.
You can't play defense without enthusiasm and effort. And Marcus Williams is going to show you some effort. Lewis Hanson, a much bigger guy, but number 4 just out of Hoover, Alabama, came with the wood.
Running room here for Oliver Lundberg-Coleman, the redshirt freshman from Sweden, bursting for 18 on his first carry of the game.
Great run and tempo now for UConn.
Feed the freshman. Lundberg-Coleman picks up 2 more.
The one good thing that Rice is doing is usually when you see that wide zone, all of the linemen are on the same level. But every time today, it's always been one guy getting pushed back, and that's not where you want to be, because the running back can't go around it, and he can't find that cut lane that he's looking for. Rice has done a really nice job defensively of going against that wide zone and just disrupting it.
That previous run by Lundberg-Coleman, by far the longest run of the game. Before, the longest run was 8 yards for UConn. Fignano launches, incomplete, nobody home. Nider the closest.
They wanted Nider, but way long. No one back there. But again, the coverage. Secondary is healthier than they have been, and Fignano, even though he hasn't thrown any interceptions, has not always been on point. And this is where Rice has dialed up 5 to 6 guys coming. Let's see if they do it again.
Third and 7 for Connecticut. Just a 3-man rush. Playing coverage, Fignano underneath. Juice Marine gets depleted at the 49. Joe Chavez has had a big game today for Rice. It's 4th down.
When you don't come with pressure, you only rush 3 and drop 8. This is what you want. You don't mind them catching the ball, but when they catch it, you're going to make them pay. Nice job by Chavez of playing where he needs to be, knowing where he needs to be, and bringing the hammer. This Rice defense now is kind of woken up.
Now, what did Ty Morris tell us yesterday in practice? They made sure to focus on celebrating their wins just in practice. They wanted to bring that energy to the field today. They're doing it. Stutz, another good-looking punt, forcing Tyson Thompson to call for the fair catch. 39-yard kick. One more look at the big hit by Joe Chavez on Juice Farine. Tie game, Rice has it back.
Rice having to have a big game from Quentin Jackson. Okay, well, let me do it in the run game. Breaking tackles, taking it to the house, just showing you versatility, and then coming back on the long pass. Out of the backfield, he's going to sneak through there, and then all of a sudden, deep play. 3 catches for 80 yards and a long of 75. 12 carries for 127 yards. That's what you need to have out of number 10, Jackson, who just has another carry.
Jackson out across the 15. Rice starting from the 12 in a tie game. They just went 91 yards for a touchdown the last time they had the ball, 88 yards away to start this one. Yeah, Quentin Jackson, Scott Abel told us yesterday, I really wondered when I took over, could he at his size be big enough to handle a workload? It's like he plays bigger than he really is.
When you get to meet him, you talk to him, he's kind of soft-spoken, but when he gets in between these lines, you can see he turns it on.
Jenkins rifles. That is knocked down by Brian Parham.
Parham wants that one back. He knows he has a chance. From the LBC, Long Beach Poly. A lot of great Bruins I played with back in the day. Chucky Miller, Dennis Price, Brian Parham, though, all you got to do is grab it. Had the chance to pull that one away. Mercedes Lewis, bunch of LB.
How many people
guys.
do you know from Long Beach?
It was a lot of them.
I know he played at UCLA.
Some of them went over across the way, but the ones that came over were some good players.
3rd and 6. The pitch to Jackson. Oh, is he going to throw it? No, he is wrestled down in the backfield. He's looking downfield. Jackson, the former quarterback in high school, for a second was looking, but instead, Brian Parham ends up with it. It's a stop for UConn.
Yeah, he was setting something up, but watch UConn's defense just sniff it out. Jackson wants to bend down, but he has nowhere to go with the football. Good coverage all the way around, and then Parham comes up, and the rest of the guys join him.
Now, Parham ended up with the football, but he had already tackled Jackson. So nice stop for UConn defensively, and UConn's going to end up with outstanding field position after this short punt. Under 8 to play here in Houston. Tie game. Joe Fignano and the Huskies back to work. Oh, what an odyssey Jim Mora has been on as a head coach. Started in the NFL with the Falcons, NFC Championship game appearance his first year, 3 years total in Atlanta, just the one season in Seattle in 2009 with 5-11. Then 6 years in UCLA, a pair of 10-win seasons before things went south there. And now here at UConn, he has helped shake this Huskies program out of the doldrums.
Yeah, he understands how to bring a program together, and I think a lot of it is all the people he's been around, like Dick Vermeil, his father, you know, all the being around those folks have helped him really become what he is as a head coach.
UConn takes over in a tie game from the Rice 45, and Cam Edwards, who we haven't seen last few drives, stumbles ahead inside the 40. Yeah, what's on the line for UConn? Yes, a 5th straight win, but also a chance to already wrap up bowl eligibility. It would be the 3rd time in 4 years under Mora, as a man is down for Rice and the trainers come out onto the field. Before Mora took over, UConn had gone to 1 bowl game in 10 seasons.
That's incredible when you think about that.
So a man down for Rice, and oh, by the way, now the rain is coming down here in Houston.
We knew there was a window of opportunity. Really bad storms late last night, and now you're seeing the other round of that.
Tony Ayenyenwu, the rush linebacker, now on his feet for Rice. Really one of the best players on that side for the Owls, and hopefully for Rice, he'll be back in soon. Didn't need any help getting to the sideline.
Talked about him with a high motor and a guy that they want to have in this game, especially against a passer like Fagnano.
Edwards again, dashing for the first down inside the 35.
Bring Edwards in. This offensive line now has found something in that interior, and they're attacking it.
Edwards has been quiet for the most part today, now up to 39 yards on 11 carries. He's been UConn's leading rusher each of the last 3 seasons. Once again, Edwards trying to bend it to the outside, and great pursuit by Marcus Williams.
Yep, that Rice defense there was just nasty. Nowhere for Cam Edwards to go. You're going to see push back here because there's pressure, then one hit there, and then another. Levante Johnson comes in, and Marcus Williams cleans it up.
Loss of 4 yards on the play. We tick down close to 6 minutes remaining in regulation. Rain has subsided now just for a moment. Victor Rosa with the catch. And to the 30-yard line to bring up a better 3rd down situation for UConn. They'll need 7.
It's one of those situations where Rosa is in position. He does a nice job of securing the catch after the rain stops him from getting extra yards, but secures the catch and picks up some yards so they can be in 3rd and more manageable. Last few times, Rice has come with 3 and dropped 8. Let's see what they do here.
Murphy motions out. Rice brings 3 again into the flat. Murphy takes a shot. It's Peyton Stevenson, the 5th-year senior. And it's 4th down for Connecticut. Chris Freeman will come on to try for 3 in the lead.
A really nice play by this defense. They show you what they're going to do, and if you throw the ball, it gets you a better situation, but still a pretty long field goal.
A 46-yarder, again with the rain just now coming down. Freeman hit from 45 earlier in the half. This from 46, and this didn't have a chance. Freeman slipped. So his school record field goal streak comes to an end at 12, and the game remains tied at 24.
That's the second time he slipped. The other time it was just doesn't hit it clean and doesn't get his footing.
Again, he made that extra point when he slipped earlier. This is a far different ask from 46 yards. In the elements, the slick turf, and the frustration is evident. Can you blame him?
Now Rice with a chance with 4:51.
And Quentin Jackson squeezing ahead to the 32 for a gain of 4.
Jackson picks up 4 yards.
A lot of their success has been in that interior of the defensive line. They found something that they're going to, and it's been consistent.
You know, Buck, you talk about 4-minute offense. I mean, the game is tied here, but Rice would love this kind of situation to just march down the field and end it in regulation. Turner, the former UConn Husky, trying to cut it back. He goes down with Donovan Branch nearby, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, really nice job by Branch.
Number 11, Donovan Branch.
Got a linebacker out there, Aaron Turner, and he does everything he needs to do to tackle him in open field.
Under 4 to play and a 3rd and 5 for Rice. Owls are 5 of 14 on 3rd down. Jackson twisted down. Damon Brinson makes the play for UConn.
Brinson came out of nowhere. He was shot like a cannon. And that's another, I mean, we've watched him make some plays, and Jackson has been able to come out of a lot of that, but Brinson said, no, not there.
What a job by this UConn defense after the missed field goal, rising up and forcing a 3-and-out right away.
Back-to-back plays by guys in open field, whether it was Branch or Brinson. Nice job.
Paqueta over the head of Harper. Can Rice chase it down? They will, as it checks up at the 5. A 62-yard line drive punt by Alex Paqueta, and with under 3 to play, UConn will start from the 5.
We had so much offense in the first half, and then the second half has been both defenses that have shown up.
It was a 21-17 UConn lead at the half. We had 3 touchdowns combined in the final 2 minutes of the half, and a defensive battle breaking out here in the second half. And Joe Fignano, the 25-year-old, 7th-year senior quarterback, is 95 yards away from the end zone. And even in this weather, perhaps even Freeman gets another shot to play hero with a field goal. Fignano starts the drive by connecting with Murphy. Gain of 6 to the 11.
Footing is not good in this area, and it hadn't been good in the other 20-yard line or so. But one of the key things is, can they keep this offense on the field?
Now, Shamar Porter, beg your pardon, came up with that catch. The former Kentucky Wildcat in his 2nd year with Connecticut. Now on the ground. Edwards churning past the 20-yard line with a 1st down. 12 yards on the carry.
Determined run by Edwards on that one. Good interior blocking, and then just finds the lane, and they're going to get this down to the 2-minute timeout.
2 minutes to go in regulation. Jim Mora and UConn pursuing a 5th consecutive win and bowl eligibility here in Houston. Jim Mora told us this week he's struck by the growth and confidence from his team. From can we do this in an overtime loss to Syracuse to yeah, we can in a game-winning drive against Buffalo a few weeks ago. Now the mentality is we expect to do this. He expects magic from Joe Fagnano now. 2 minutes to go in a tie game.
There's a calming effect on him and the coaches when he's back there.
UConn started from the 5. They've got it at the 23 with a first down. Edwards slashing for a couple. UConn does have all 3 timeouts.
Both ball clubs showing some physicality, especially on defense. Defenses have tightened up in the second half.
On 2nd and 8, Fagnano over the head of Bell, and it's 3rd and 8 for UConn. Fagnano went down in the pocket.
Stops the clock, so if you're Rice, you don't have to use any of your timeouts. It's really critical on this 3rd down for UConn to convert, because if not, Rice gets this ball back and they're in a position where we've seen some explosives from them.
Watch for Skylar Bell in the slot up top. On 3rd and 8, Fagnano scrambling and spinning and stopped well short of the marker.
This defense has really impacted the game for Rice. They've got guys back. They're not letting Fagnano find his main guy. Fagnano even has a little bit of a slippage here, but once he takes off, look at how these guys convert. You see those 2 turn and say, let's go get him. There's 4 or 5 guys that are in position as soon as he starts to run. Good defense by Rice.
And we had heavy rain all morning here in Houston. Didn't have any rain during the game until about early in the 4th quarter. The skies opened up. It has stopped for now, but the footing has not been great. And whistles blow before the punt by Stutz.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Got to adjust the game clock. Add another second here. And with Fagnano on that scramble going out of bounds, that clock stopped at 1:23. And your point earlier, again, Rice didn't have to burn any timeouts there either.
On any of that drive, whether it was incomplete pass or running out of bounds, it didn't. It played into their favor.
Stutz gets it away. And the fair catch by Thompson inside the 30. A 43-yard punt. So Rice has an opportunity to end their 3-game losing streak. Quentin Jackson, big play machine today. A couple of 70-plus yard touchdowns, one on the ground, one through the air. And remember that missed field goal by Chris Freeman earlier in the 4th. Again, tough situation with the field. He slipped on that 46-yard attempt, but it would have put UConn on top.
Well, if you're looking at Rice, Enoch Goda, as long this year is 49 versus Prairie View.
Jackson just can find no room. UConn ready for it. Gain of only a yard. And a timeout here, I believe, for Connecticut.
He ran for 10, but actually is going to be accounted for 2.
It'll be interesting to see Rice in this situation. We know the design of their offense, the triple option out of the spread. I mean, Jenkins, he has been on target through the air. Can they dial something up to move it quickly down the field? Again, they still have all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, he has really thrown the ball effectively. Probably the best I've seen him all year. I mean, even though he's a 67% completion percentage guy, today has just been really, really good for him in the passing game.
Watch for the screen here down low. Jackson, instead the keeper by Jenkins. And a great open field tackle yet again by Damon Brinson.
Brinson has just been outstanding from that that third level, coming down and just making plays. Listed as a free safety. Good communicator, just one of those guys that's always around. And watch three, recognizes it and just comes through, gets by the blocker. This was really nice. When you talk about an alley player, that's what you want to see from your safeties. Can they come in the alley and they don't care how dark it is, they don't care who's in there, they're gonna come and just wallop you.
Buck, UConn called another timeout there, so down to 1 remaining and 3rd and 7 upcoming for Rice.
In essence, you're forcing Rice's hand, and if they throw it and don't complete the pass, clock stops for you there.
On the misdirection, Aaron Turner stepping out of a tackle, and he's close to the line to gain. He needed the 38. It looks like he's got it. First down for Rice with a minute to go.
Brinson had a chance but couldn't come up with the tackle. And he, again, came flying from his safety position. Watch three again. He's in the box this time, and then he's just looking for an opportunity. He sees it, recognizes it, but can't get him. Turner with an outstanding job of getting out of the tackle.
Buck, they're going to take a closer look at this. That play is going to be under review with 1 minute to go. Boy, it was awfully close there, right at the marker, the 38-yard line.
Well, and I would imagine if it's 4th and short, the way this Rice team has been running the football, there wouldn't be any hesitation to go for it on 4th down.
So as Tim Rich takes a look at it, let's look at it as well. Again, needing the 38. You know, at first glance, Buck, I really thought, as we slow it down, I thought he was short.
I thought so too from the naked eye, but you had the official right there on the spot.
And also check that ball position.
Yeah, all of that comes into play.
As he crosses the sideline just past the 37, again, needing the 38, see where that ball is. I would not be surprised if there was enough here to make it 4th down for Rice. I think there's enough to overturn this.
After reviewing the play, the ball carrier went out of bounds with about the 37-yard line. It will be 4th down and 1 yard. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 1 second, and the game clock will start on the snap.
Well, now what does Scott Abel decide to do? Get that frustration out first, but 4th down for Rice, and he sends on the punting unit.
It's one of those where you just right there.
Are you surprised they're not going for it?
I'm a little surprised, but I'm also not surprised with the way their defense is played. That's, you know.
Again, on their side of the 50, but still 4th and a yard for the spread option. Instead, Baqueta sends it away. Harper is lassoed at the 20.
UConn will take over.
A 45-yard punt. Marcus Williams down there on coverage.
Now it's up to your defense. Marcus Williams being one of those guys. Great special teams play there by him. Of forcing this offense to have to march 80 yards for a touchdown and a little bit less to be in position to kick a field goal.
The target for Chris Freeman, assuming the field is okay, like take the slip on his missed field goal earlier out of the equation. The target line would be around the 35 or 40-yard line. One timeout left for UConn, 52 seconds. Vignano tried to dump it to Vereen. It's low and incomplete.
Ty Morris knocked him off the route, and he never could get back on track. Vignano wanted to find him, but couldn't get to him.
You got to watch for the tight end in Juice Farine. You hear the Rice defenders talking about it. Instead, Vignano dumps it to Rosa out of bounds, just past the 20-yard line. It's third down for UConn.
On defense, you have to communicate and talk, and a lot of times they'll tell you what they're looking at and what they're thinking. As an offensive guy, you hear them calling your number or saying, watch this, watch that, because that's they have to communicate.
Juice Farine had a touchdown earlier, his third in the last 2 games. He remains on the field, 3rd and 7. Just a 3-man rush. Vignano off the hands of Bell, a little tall, incomplete, and it's 4th down for the Huskies.
And that's why they punt it, because this is a one-dimensional team now, and they haven't played particularly well in the pass game. And it's a block, and it's really a poor throw. That ball wasn't going to, it was going to be caught if it were, and was not going to go much further.
Oh, high snap. Stutz corrals it somehow. And it bounces past Tyson Thompson inside the 20.
Stutz with an athletic play and a great punt.
That could have been disaster for Connecticut. Instead, it's a 57-yard punt.
Great hands, and then pulls it down and still able to get his steps in. But man, that's why I was always the backup snapper.
Okay.
Snapped pretty well, but there were going to be times where I was going to be Newt LaLoosh from this long snapper position.
That's why you were number 2. I get why now. Rain starting to pick up again here. 26 seconds to go in regulation. See how Rice plays it with a couple of timeouts left. Jenkins underneath to Drayden Dickman and out of bounds past the 25. Now, you say on one hand, yeah, with the spread option, no, it's not a quick strike offense. If Quentin Jackson or Dickman, the track star in the spring for Rice, if they get loose, watch out.
They've got some weapons here that can be explosive in their own right, and they've shown that today.
Jenkins again into the flat, this time Aaron Turner. Turner fighting toward the sideline, but he's taken down inbounds, first down at the 39, 14 seconds to play, and a timeout.
30 seconds.
Nice little throw out there to Aaron Turner, and he just keeps fighting and battling. Knowing this UConn team, or having some familiarity with it between his time.
Now for Rice, it's the first of 4 consecutive games here at home in Houston. It's a short week coming up. They'll play on Halloween against Memphis, fresh off their big win over South Florida earlier today. That game Friday night will be on ESPN2. But 14 seconds remain in regulation. And 1 timeout left for the Owls. Jenkins takes off. And he slides just short of midfield. And Rice is going to have to burn that final timeout with 7 seconds to go.
30 seconds.
Well, now you're looking at opportunities to drive the ball down the field as your only opportunity to kind of get in position for a touchdown or a field goal or play for overtime. Got some options.
And the question is there enough time for Rice, 7 seconds, to work the sideline and put it in a somewhat comfortable range for Enoch Goda? The target for him is around the 33.
This rain keeps picking up, so that doesn't
Boy, it has. It's become a deluge now. This is the hardest rain of this 4th quarter, and no rain the first 3 quarters. And as Rice comes out, now UConn calls its final timeout.
30 seconds.
You can hear it on the microphones.
How do you play this if you are Rice and Scott Abel? What are you trying to design here?
Yeah, to what your point, trying to get it to the outside so you at least catch and be able to stop the clock. And then it leaves you with potentially one last play. This can't take long. If it does, that means we go right into overtime. A little confusion between the receivers as to where to go.
Both teams out of timeouts now. 7 seconds. Jenkins on the roll, being chased. Looking for Dickman along the sideline. And out of bounds, and now it would be time for the heave like you talked about.
And with this rain, you'll either heave it or you'll just say, let's play this so we can get into that overtime situation. Yep.
It looks like Rice, to your point, Bucks. Gonna head straight to OT. They won't even have Jenkins try to throw it as far as he can. On to OT here in Houston with Rice and UConn tied at 24.
Welcome to Overtime, presented by Cheez-It.
It's crunch time. In the first overtime, each team gets a possession starting at the opponent's 25-yard line. If it goes to a second overtime, teams again start at the 25-yard line, but must attempt a two-point conversion after a touchdown with no extra points allowed. From the third overtime on, Teams alternate 2-point conversion attempts from the 3-yard line until the game is decided.
Reese, appreciate the breakdown here in Houston. Ted Emmerich, Charles Arbuckle, Smacker Miles, our entire crew off to overtime, tied at 24. UConn winning the coin toss, of course, electing to play defense first to see what they need on their possession. And Rice begins with Chase Jenkins, who's back in the lineup after his ankle injury a couple of weeks ago, and a nice gain on first down, pickup of 6.
Looks like he almost turned the wrong way in that play and still was able to pick up positive yards.
Rice needed him back in the worst way. He's been efficient as a passer and a big threat on the ground as well. On 2nd and 4, Quentin Jackson muscling ahead for the first down inside the 15. What a game he has had. He lost his helmet in the process. He's going to have to come out for a play.
Quentin Jackson again. Look at that interior line blocking. He just sees a gap. He's so short in stature that you don't see him, and then all of a sudden he comes out on the other side. Some physicality as well.
More than 200 yards from scrimmage for Jackson today, but he's got to exit after losing his helmet. And DeAndre Hardiman Jr., the true freshman, who tied the game with his first career touchdown, is in there now. And here is Hardiman, banging for a couple down to the 12.
Hardiman is one of those guys that runs the ball effective for them. See Jackson coming right back in.
Jackson 137 yards rushing and a touchdown, 80 yards receiving, and another score. Now the option. Jenkins keeps it, and a hurdle down close to the 5.
Every time you think you have Jenkins or Alexander or Hardiman and Jackson in particular, they're in position, right? But he just turns and finds just the angle. Lee Mollett is coming down, and he's able to still pick up some of those positive yards.
3rd and a yard for Rice. Jackson struggling, reaching out. It's a touchdown. Quentin Jackson would not be denied here at overtime.
Trifecta for the young man. He has just been so effective today. And again, look at the blue jerseys push. Look at that push up front and just enough blocking. He knows he has one man to beat, and he's able to do that right there. They may look at this.
And forget about as long as that ball crosses the plane. We're checking the knees here. Doesn't matter that that ball pops out after. Once you break that plane, that white paint on the turf, play is over. It's a touchdown, assuming the knee is not down here before he crosses the plane.
Thigh, and from that angle, it looks like it's crossed, but I can't tell you. It looks like he had enough there. Now, here's the other thing.
Come on, Brunson.
Again, how many of these tackles has he been involved in?
And seemingly all of them against Quentin Jackson in the open field.
From that angle, it looked like the ball crossed the plane before his thigh went down.
Got to protect the viewfinder in the rain. Looks like a quick review for Tim Rich.
After reviewing, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
So it is a touchdown. And Rice has the lead.
But again, extra points have been tricky with the slippage on the field.
I remember for Chris Freeman of UConn, he slipped at this end and still converted. Enoch Goda knocks it through. So a 31-24 lead for Rice here in the first overtime. And UConn knows exactly what they need. Down a touchdown.
This is why you play. You can talk about what it looks like on paper and everything else, but when you show up, this is what you have to do. This Rice team clearly was in a much better position this week than they were last time we saw them.
Joe Fignano has cobbled together another 300-yard passing day, plus 3 more touchdowns.
They're going to have to rely on his arm again here in this overtime.
In his 7th year of college football, and 25 years old, hoping to lead UConn to new heights before the end of his career. The overtime possession starts with the run by Edwards down to the 21, a gain of 4.
Can't say enough about this Rice defense either. Second half, neither team, I mean, both defenses really showed me something in the second half.
Again, it was a 21-17 Connecticut lead at the half. Explosion after explosion from both offenses. And just a couple of scores in the second half combined. Now Fignano all alone in the gun. And the screen. Inside the 10. And a big play there for UConn. And Terrence Smith, the return man, goes for 15 to match his number.
You have 2 blockers in front, both tight ends, and Terrence Smith with a really nice catch and run after that.
So 1st and goal for UConn. Again, the Huskies can wrap up a bowl bid with the win today. It would be their 5th consecutive win after a 1-2 start. Edwards probing. He is in, standing up for the touchdown. A quick response by UConn here in OT.
Good job by Edwards working and then attacking the hole.
And by the way, Chris Freeman and the extra point unit coming out to tie the game and send it to a 2nd overtime. Remember, he slipped on that extra point earlier in the game. He finds his footing here, and we're tied at 31, going to overtime number 2. After not much scoring in the second half, how about a touchdown for each side in the first overtime? Well, Chris Freeman slipped on an extra point earlier in the game. How about the job of Connor Stutz? Wipe it down where you're going to place the football and where Freeman has to plant to let it fly. Well done by that unit, and off we go to the second overtime.
He has multiple things to do there. He's a holder. He has to catch the ball, but he has to make sure he wipes on and wipes off to make sure Stutz, Freeman has a clean area.
Wipe on, wipe off. Where have I heard that before? Second overtime starts with UConn in possession. Fignano wants it all. Incomplete. Off the fingertips of Raymello Murphy.
Yeah, he had Raymello Murphy there. Scored a little long. Just a little long. And again, you score here, you go for 2. So your 2-point conversions, you got to have your best ones ready. most teams have some in their back pocket, but you don't want to keep going through that overtime to use all of them up.
And of course, if you head to the third overtime, then it just becomes a 2-point off. 2nd and 10. Screen for Edwards, and he is submarined by Marcus Williams after a short gain. 3rd and 7 coming up.
Just like Brinson on the back end for UConn, we call Marcus Williams' name, or Joe Chavez. One of those two has been around.
What do you look for on 3rd and 8?
Well, you got to get that first down. And if you don't, you're going to go for it. So do something where you can take advantage. You got one-on-one up there. You got a receiver where he can catch it and turn it into a first down.
Morris on the blitz, picked up by Edwards, but Fagnano still affected. Hit as he threw it, incomplete. How about Ty Morris fighting through that block?
Ty Morris told us he was going to be all over the field, and he is. I mean, he has not been denied today.
So a 41-yard try for Chris Freeman. Once again, Stutz wiping down the turf for the lead in the 2nd overtime. Freeman can start a new streak. 34-31 Connecticut.
And now if you're UConn, mission critical for your defense not to allow the touchdown, the walk-off for Rice.
Chase Jenkins jogs back out there. Very different sight from 2 weeks ago in the Alamo Dome when he had to limp off with an ankle injury. He has been money here today.
Throwing the ball effectively to his weapons. 15 of 19 on the day, 172 yards, 1 touchdown.
Give it to Quentin Jackson. And Jackson pushes for a couple.
Q-Jack has been phenomenal today. Clearly the rest did him well, getting healthy and everything else. But the offensive linemen coming back from last week, though, when they haven't had those guys getting healthy as well. David Stickle is a key component of that, the center.
A touchdown wins it for Rice here in the 2nd OT. Jackson breaking free! Quentin Jackson calls game with a 23-yard touchdown!
Wow.
Quentin Jackson's 4th touchdown today seals it for Rice. A signature win in their first year under Coach Scott Abel as they knock off UConn 37-34 in double overtime.
You fight, claw, and scratch. I talked about this offensive line. Look at that push there, and then 2 guys to beat. Quentin Jackson has been doing it all day, and it doesn't surprise me that he does it there. Look at that blocking. Tight ends, they got offensive linemen who have come back healthy. And what does it do? It makes a healthy day and a healthy dose of touchdowns for Quentin Jackson. Small but mighty.
Downstairs to Smacker.
Jack, walk me through that final play.
We call it an RPO. Trust is coach gave me trust to run the ball. Made one guy miss. We needed this win. That's all I could think about, just getting this win for my team. We've been through a lot of hardships.